Let's do Mary Ann.
Hi, John.
Hey, Mary Ann, how are you?
I am fine, thank you. Thank you for spending time on my dream.
Absolutely.
Okay, the setting of this, I had a sense that it was nighttime, and I was in a room I've never been in before. It had a door to the outside. I was with a number of other people, and I never actually looked at them, but I had the feeling that maybe it was 4 or 5 other women. We had been doing something that we thought of as spiritual warfare. There was a knock at the door, and we hesitated, feeling cautious, but not exactly fearful. I approached the door and opened it. There was a man outside that had a dark appearance, very tall, so he had to slump to see in the door, and he exuded power. He reached in and grasped the top of my head, lifting me up off the floor, although not hurting me. And he spoke in a stern voice. He asked something to the effect of, "Do you realize what you made me do, and that it took me all day to undo it?" And that's when I woke up.
So where were you at the beginning?
I'm in a room. It's nighttime. I'm in a room with other people, and there's a door to the outside. And I've never seen this room before.
Okay. Do you know who the people were?
No,
Just generally a
no.
group of women praying?
I guess so. Yeah.
Okay, the character, now, did he pick you up, did you say by the top of your head or like
He
grab you by
did, by the very crown of my head. He just lifted me up off the floor.
Was he like a 9-foot giant or something? Or
Probably, yeah. He had to kind of bend down to look through the doorway.
okay. And not obviously somebody you were familiar with.
No,
Okay.
no.
Did he have a nefarious presence or an angelic presence?
I wasn't afraid of him,
Mhm.
but at the same time he was dark, as far as, dark hair, dark countenance, and clearly not very happy at the moment. But I didn't feel any fear, and he didn't hurt me.
Okay. That's really interesting. It sounds like, in the context of the dream, and by what I understand of dream language, it sounds like cause and effect. What you were doing in that room had an effect somewhere on someone else. And
Yeah.
this was a person that was knocking on the door. Um, to me, it doesn't sound nefarious. It sounds more of, I think of Michael the Archangel. And those that have seen him have said that he seems to be either in a hurry or slightly ticked off most of the time. And so the idea that he would pick you up, and he had something that basically excuse me, it sounds like you dictated his actions for the whole day. You did something that it took him all day to undo or to accomplish, or what were his
To
words?
undo is how he put it. Do you realize what you made me do, and that it took me all day to undo it?
Hmm. Well, that's interesting.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
when he picked me up, I kind of had the feeling it was like to get me on eye level. I mean, he was really looking at me.
Well, it definitely sounds like a representation of a supernatural being.
Mhm.
Um, somebody that was super tall. The fact that they knocked on the door and didn't kick the door in reminds me of something that would be, Jesus said in Revelation, "Behold, I stand at the door and knock." And so that's indicative of the idea of preference and wanting to be invited in versus wanting to just barge in. So it doesn't sound like spiritual warfare. But the idea of you did something, excuse me, or you caused something to happen that he did that it took him all day to undo.
Mhm.
Read that read what he said to you exactly, if you could, please.
Do you realize what you made me do, and that it took me all day to undo it?
Hmm. Yeah, so it's interesting because it sounds almost like a mistake. It
Hmm.
sounds like he did something that he didn't want to do, or he repented of. He had to go back and undo what was done. Excuse me. And so again, that to me doesn't sound like an angel. I don't see angels as doing things and then repenting and undoing them. So this could be a level of like a principality. But it's interesting that, yeah, do you realize what you made me do? It took all day to undo it.
Hmm.
Huh. Yeah, I feel like it's a result of something that you've been sowing into or praying into, or something happening in that regard. Um, so I'm not sure. We don't have enough information in the dream to know exactly what that was.
Mhm.
It does sound like it could be a result. Yeah, it could be a result of intercession. It sounds like it's something that has to do with actions that you took. And again, because of the way that dreams unfold, I feel like it's actions even that you took in that room. So there was something that was happening um, in that room. And so this is something that a lot of times, well, not necessarily a lot of times, but what happens sometimes is we get what's called a continuation dream, where you may dream more about what's happening. And so you'll come to a deeper understanding of what that is. There's also dreams that begin to just kind of steer your mind or your direction towards, excuse me, towards a level of understanding or a depth of understanding about a particular topic. So again, I feel like there's there's something in and again, I believe it's a spiritual warfare capacity, because what I saw in my mind's eye was Michael. So it's either something that's been defeated and then had to try to undo whatever it was that you did. It sounds like, whatever you bind on earth will be bound in heaven. Like you bound something and it was trying to solve the problem that you put the impediment in its way, which lets you know, I think two things. It lets you know that your prayers are powerful, but it also lets you know that the work's not done. Because if you caused it to do something that it then had to undo, it's not a completed work.
Mhm.
So I feel like if there's something in your life in particular that you're praying into, doing spiritual warfare, something that's on your heart that you're contending for, I feel like you need to continue that.
Thank you.
Okay. Does that make sense?
It does. It does.
Awesome.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Marianne. Have a good one.